Alone and exposed, these Malian soldiers want to show that they're in control in the streets of Timbuktu, but they advance anxiously, knowing that they are the primary targets for suicide bombers. They have little firepower, no protection, and they lack the training to face well-equipped and determined insurgents. Despite the will, Malian troops find themselves completely overwhelmed when clashes break out.
We want
the French to stay here, this commanding officer tells me, because we don't have the means to defend the city and face this fight at present. But for the French, this fight is out there, in the desert. They quickly intervened in Mali to hunt Al-Qaeda and its allies, not where they may strike, but where they plan their operations from. Paris believes its military task is nearly accomplished.
The French say they're ready to pack and go and hand over cities like Timbuktu to the African forces. But the search for residual jihadi fighters continues, and only the French have the means to come to remote places like this one.
The people of this tiny desert village are all ethnic Arabs or Tuaregs. They say that Islamist militants have never come here. But it's the only outpost in an ocean of sand before the next town a few hundred kilometers further north. So between the fear of reprisal and hurried allegations, it's hard to know. Back in Timbuktu, fear has returned. When we came here just over 2 months ago, we found the population celebrating after a traumatic occupation. Following suicide attacks and raids in the city, people are now even afraid to talk on camera.
If they are pulling out in coming days, which means everybody will be running. Even me, I will leave the place.
Until recently, the 7,000-strong regional African force was nowhere to be seen in northern Mali, and most of the troops lacked both logistics and funding.
Nous sommes inquiets.
We are worried because we don't think that these forces, even if they come, which is not even sure, will be able to do what the French have done so far.
The French deployed in Mali, arguing that militants operating here had become a threat not only to the region but also to European countries. After a rapid campaign, they are now pushing for a UN peacekeeping mission to take over. Thousands of African forces are waiting for that mandate. There is, however, little faith in these troops' capacity. And the prospect of a French withdrawal means for the people of this region uncertain times lie ahead. Fessy, BBC News, Timbuktu.